Right, we have a guest in the studio. Um, we have Bobby from the Walking Cricket Club. Hello, Bobby.
How are you? Okay?
I'm alright, are you?
Excellent, thank you.
It is
Yes.
the first time you've ever been on the radio.
Not the first time on the radio, first time in here. Spent quite a bit of time on Radio Lancashire in previous roles that I had at Lancashire Cricket and that type of thing. But yeah, the first time in here, Aaron.
And what do you think? What do you think of our studio
Excellent,
setup? It's good, isn't
absolutely
it, in here?
fantastic. Nice to meet Neil as well. And yeah, very pleasant indeed.
So, tell me a bit about the Walking Cricket Club, what it's all about.
Yeah, so Fylde Coast Cricket Coaching, which is the business that I own with Danny Gilbert. Danny and myself used to work at Lancashire together. We set the business up about 5 years ago now, 2019, and we run a huge amount of different coaching programs from the young cricket cubs to working at club level with senior sides. We work with professional cricketers, but there's been a gap in the Fylde Coast where there hasn't been any walking cricket. There are other walking sports, walking football in particular, and walking rugby and walking netball. So we set up walking cricket in a variety of locations on the back of conversations at local authority level about 6 months ago, and we're now up and walking. I was going to say up and running, up and walking with a session that we have at Palatine, which I've just dashed from this morning, Palatine Leisure Centre down in Blackpool, and we're running one at Thornton Sports Centre as well. So we've got a few programmes happening, and they're all going really well, being really well received, and it's a really enjoyable session.
So, what's the difference between cricket and walking cricket? Because a lot of our listeners probably won't have a clue.
Yeah, not a huge amount to be fair. So bowlers will still bowl the ball over arm, batters will still bat as normal, as will fielders. I think the main difference for us, Aaron, is that we've decided at this moment in time to pitch walking cricket indoors. So for any one of your listeners that understands the game, normally outside, you hit the ball, it goes over the boundary, the ball is kind of dead, the game comes to a halt whilst the fielder goes and fetches the ball, and there's not a lot of activity happening. By playing the game indoors, the ball more or less is always live, pinging off the sports centre halls, and therefore the game is continuing to take place. So I think that's the fundamental difference, but fielders still field, catch the ball, throw the ball, bowlers bowl the ball, and the same with batters as well. We just like to do it indoors at this moment in time.
I suppose that has an advantage to disabled people as well that may not be able to run.
It absolutely does. We run a couple of disabled sessions with Together We Can Do in Blackpool, so we're reasonably well experienced of working with disabled participants. In a previous chapter for myself, I worked at international level with disabled cricketers in the England setup. So we're constantly mindful of the need to adapt in all of our sessions that we deliver. But walking cricket could absolutely lend itself to disabled players as well.
Which is good, because I mean, there are a lot of people who are disabled that might want to, and maybe any of our listeners that may be, disabled in one way or another. There's many ways you can be disabled, and they might think, oh, I want to have a game of cricket, and they can't because nobody will take them on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think maybe not now, and I'll be careful with my wording here, but I suppose there's when people think of disabled sports people, they may just see wheelchair users, and that's obviously not the case. It could be learning disabilities, it could be hearing impairments, it could be visual,
mental health,
and all of that. So there's a whole host of different things, but walking cricket absolutely lends itself to anybody with a disability that wants to whack a ball about a sports centre, bowl a ball, catch a ball, throw a ball. I think as well in our sessions that we run, it's not just playing the game. The session that we've run this morning, it's absolutely about learning some new skills. So we've learnt and reminded some of our players who have been involved in the session this morning, because some of them are former cricketers, We've reminded them of some of the techniques on a particular skill, and we've been learning that prior to going straight into a game. So there's some skill acquisition and development as well as the game.
But like learning to bowl, doing it underarm and overarm.
Absolutely that, because I think, you know, if we're inviting people to come along to a new environment, maybe a new sport, and they're straight into a game, which always gets competitive, quite rightly so.
Oh yeah,
competitive at the right level,
yeah,
but quite rightly so. They need a bit of skill acquisition and development. So the first half hour after our warm-up introductory activity is definitely learning a new skill. So last week we did batting, bowling and fielding. This morning after our fielding warm-up we've specifically done batting, and then we play the game. So they've learnt a skill, they feel a bit more comfortable with that skill, and then ideally they can bring that skill into the game. So there's a bit of that going on as well.
So do you use the proper cricket equipment or the plastic?
It's plastic. So we use the plastic bats, plastic stumps, soft ball as well. So nobody needs to turn up with equipment. Nobody needs to be worried about getting hit by the ball. It's all softball activity. And again, that lends itself to playing indoors anyway. But I think it just lends itself to what we ultimately want from the walking cricket programme, which is have a go, get on the move, play that game that you might have played 20 years ago, but definitely not somebody running in trying to knock your head off with a hard cricket ball. It's absolutely not about that.
Or getting cricket ball in your unmentionables as well. That
And
I've
getting
had that when I was at school, and oh god, does it hurt when you get it in the ghoulies? Ooh,
Yes,
nasty.
Well, you've probably not had a cricket box on, Alan, have you, to protect your nether regions? Always put a cricket box on if you're playing.
Well, we didn't, because it was in primary school, so we didn't have anything like a box to protect you or a jock strap or anything. You just went out onto the field and somebody hit the ball really hard and it did it. Oh God, it winded me well and truly.
You see, the thing is, Neil's in the background laughing here.
I can understand.
If Aaron could have caught the ball, he wouldn't have had that problem, would he?
No.
Well, he's not. You see, it might be your catching skills there that's let you down.
I can't catch a ball to save my life. I was always really, really bad at any ball sports. The only thing I was ever any good at was hockey. I was my school's secret weapon.
But you see, if you get hit with a hockey ball,
It's still painful.
Still painful.
And a hockey puck is even worse.
Ice hockey. Is that ice hockey?
No, uni-hock, indoor.
Ah, right.
And street hockey.
Yeah. I went to ice hockey once and the puck flew over the screen. Landed very close. That's dangerous watching ice hockey.
It is very dangerous.
I've been to digressing here, but it's quite
we are
dangerous,
digressing a bit.
On the on the ball that we use, you in all seriousness, you can't get away from the fact that I suppose whatever sport you play, you might occasionally just get hit in an awkward area, but it's not happened on the walking cricket yet. I back all of our participants that are there at the Palatine Leisure Centre and the Thornton Sports Centre sessions that we're running at the minute to be able to catch the ball.
And I mean, it's inevitable that whatever you do in any sport, you're going to get injured anyway, because I mean, you can't take away the risk of being injured 110%.
You can't.
It's like here, we have risk assessments here, but we can't rule out every single risk, and we can't what's the word for it? We can't eliminate every single risk, but that's just the part of it, isn't it? And that's part of the fun of doing your cricket, is take a risk of getting a bat in the shins or something accidentally.
We just we minimise it, but the version of walking cricket that we're running as Fylde Coast Cricket Coaching is absolutely softball. Sometimes we'll play and we'll practice our skills with a tennis ball, which is what we did this morning. When we play the game, we use a slightly harder ball than a tennis ball, but it's certainly not a cricket ball, and it's absolutely about softball activity. To encourage people to come along for an hour and a half, so we run the session this morning at Palatine for an hour. When we were at Thornton Sports Centre, that's an hour and a half. But interestingly, the people that have been coming along so far, in the main, are walking sportsmen and women across other sports. So the fact that they are used to the whole attributes of being a sportsman, catching a ball, throwing a ball, that lends itself to the activity that we run. But ultimately, Aaron, we want anybody coming along who fancies some sporting activity in a laid back environment, indoors, and ultimately being on the move, which is what we want from the walking cricket programme.
Which is really good, because I mean, keeping active helps you keep healthy, doesn't it? You know, it stops your bones from seizing up and your legs from seizing up.
It absolutely does. And when we came up with the concept as a business, our immediate action was to speak at local authority level with a view to those local authority contacts kind of linking us into that wider health agenda and networks as well. So we obviously met a couple of weeks ago at the Sparks network meeting.
We did.
And within that room there are mainly people from the health, well-being, social cohesion world, which isn't our world as a sports organisation offering professional coaching programmes. So we felt that we needed to link into that for the very reason that you mentioned there, because it lends itself to people just being active. Sport is kind of probably only a part of it, really. So anybody that has played sport is welcome, which is what the participants are this morning at Palatine and Thornton Sports Centre Friday afternoons. But anybody that just wants to play sport for the first time can come along and get involved as well.
And how old are your participants? Are they all sort of like different ages, young, old, middle-aged?
If any of them are listening to this when this interview goes out, I'll need to be really careful here of putting an age against names. But I would say the average age is around the 60 mark. There are definitely a few younger, there are definitely a few older, but I'll play that one safe. Definitely playing it safe. Around 60.
Which is pretty good, because I mean, again, I've got to be careful what I say, because I don't want to offend anyone. But sometimes you find the older cricketers are they're more experienced, and they're able to mentor the younger ones, which is quite good. I mean, it's like when I used to do martial arts, I had to give it up in the end, for one reason or the other. But you found that the older members of the group were always there to help you with learning your throws and learning your blocks and all your bits and pieces, and it's a skill that even now I've had to use. I've had to defend myself using martial arts, but the mentoring has really helped, and it's good when you get a mix of age groups. It's like here we have a mixed range. I think our youngest member's 28, and our oldest he's in his mid-70s. So we have a really mixed range of ages and abilities, and people come from all sorts of different backgrounds here. So that's what makes it good, doesn't it? Because you've got the diversity of different people.
It does. When I started out as a junior cricketer, there was 2 or 3 key individuals who used to play, who were still involved in the cricket club where I played as a junior, Blackpool Cricket Club specifically, as a junior. And 2 or 3 key individuals that help you and mentor you along the way. What we're finding at our walking cricket programmes now is, even though it's not necessarily somebody 75, 80 years of age working with a 30-year-old, because the age range is reasonably similar, but they are absolutely helping each other and encouraging each other, particularly when we do the technique stuff at the start of the session. There's a clear willingness to help each other, and then it becomes a bit more competitive when you get into the game, which we love. But that mentoring, whether it's more senior person, younger person, or just mentoring amongst your peers, we're starting to see that on the courses, which is really, really good as well. And I think that's testament to the environment. Might be a bit cliche, but I think it is, that the environment that we kind of feel when we walk into the sports centre and everybody rocks up to take part, it's nice, and they all want to be there and just all enjoy each other's company and
have a good few laughs
and get stuck in whilst having a laugh. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sounds like fun. How can people get involved if they want to join walking cricket?
So they can get involved by emailing us directly at fylecoastcricketcoaching@gmail.com, as per this flyer that I'm just shoving in front of you now.
I will put this on our Facebook.
Please do. And now that specific one that you have there is for the Palatine Leisure Centre sessions, which are happening, as you can see there, through till the 25th of March. That's 11:30 till 12:30. And the other programme that is currently running is the one that I've mentioned at Thornton Sports Centre. Now that runs on a Friday afternoon. That's 1 till 2:30. So I will get you information regarding the Thornton Sports Centre one. But that particular flyer there is specifically for Palatine Leisure Centre. But yeah, people ultimately contact us via fylecoastcricketcoaching@gmail.com, and we can have conversations and give a bit more information about what it's about and when the programmes run to. And we look forward to those conversations.
Thank you so much for coming in. It's been quite insightful to find out about walking cricket. I've never heard of it before. I've heard of walking football and walking hockey and things like that, but I've never heard of walking cricket at all.
It's been my absolute pleasure. It was lovely to meet you at the Sparks Network a few weeks ago, and our paths will no doubt cross there.
Probably.
And we probably just need to get a bit of catching practice done with you, Aaron, at some point to stop you being hit by a cricket ball in the nether regions.
Most definitely.